Hi, I'm Rashonda. I'm the creator of this YouTube channel as well as the artbyro.com website where you can find over 250 drawing and art tutorials. So be sure to check that out. Again, that's artbyro.com. But of course, not until after you watch this video, which today's tutorial is going to be on how to draw 3D dice. And I do this using a freehand technique. We're not going to use a ruler and vanishing points to do technical 1-point or 2-point perspective, but it's a quick little hack if you want to draw some 3D cubes, and dice are the perfect subject to draw with these, so that's what we're going to be covering today. I'm going to be doing mine on artist trading cards. If you're not familiar with what that is, you can check out in the description box. I put a link in there to a freebie explaining all about them. So let's go ahead and go on over to the art studio and get started on that drawing. In this tutorial, I'm going to be drawing some 3D dice. Maybe we'll put some flames or something on them. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to draw 2 separate dice on here, and I want them to be in 3D. I'm going to do this freehand just because I don't usually like having to do regular perspective with the ruler and vanishing points and all that. Most of the time when I'm doing my sketching, I just want to relax and enjoy a little bit of time drawing, and I'm not really trying to get too technical. I don't worry too much about everything being perfect. So I'll go ahead and do my perspective in freehand. And it won't be perfect, but it'll be good enough for my purposes of what I'm doing, what my goals are, which is usually just to have some creative time and to make something that is fun and enjoyable. So you can kind of play around a little bit with the size of everything, how big you want it to be. We can make some adjustments as we go. And they're going to overlap, but I'm going to go ahead and draw this entire cube, even though I know it's going to get partially covered up by the other one. So I'm going to have the other one right around in here, so it's sitting on top of it a little bit. When I do my freehand cubes, what I'm paying attention to is that the lines are parallel to one another. So this line and this line are all parallel. Then this line will be parallel. This one, and this one. So if you're doing actual perspective, that wouldn't really be the case. But when you're drawing freehand, that's the easiest way to do it. Now, if you're the type of person that is very mathematical and you like using rulers and the vanishing points and all that, you can do that too. That's fine. I just don't feel like messing with all of that most of the time. Oftentimes what I'll do is maybe I'll put a movie on and I'll sit at my art desk and I'll draw and just kind of listen to a movie or something in the background, and it's just a way to relax and unwind a little bit. So I think I'm going to do some flames off to the side here, and I also want to do my lines a little bit more stylized when I do my outline, but I'll use these as my guides basically. So the next thing is to decide how many dots you're going to have on each side. So I think I'll do 1 there. I might do 5 over here. So I'm going to go ahead and just real quick kind of rough those in a little bit. Probably only 1 will be visible there. Maybe we'll do 3 over here. We could do 2 here. And then, like I said, when I outline this, I'm going to make it a little bit more stylized instead of just having straight lines. I think it'll make it look a bit more interesting. And then for the flames, I'll have them coming off to the side here. So maybe coming off of this one. And then we'll bring this one out a little bit longer. And then that'll also, this is going to fill this area of, I'm using an artist trading card. And when I'm done, I'll put this in my binder with all my other drawings that I've done. And eventually they'll probably get traded off to somebody and get some of their artwork in return, which is always an enjoyable thing for me to do. I've gotten some pretty cool drawings from people. So we'll have that just come around over there a little bit. And then maybe we'll do a little something else on the background. So now that it's all sketched out, I'm gonna go ahead and add in the outline, and then we'll make this a little bit more stylized while we're doing that. So I'm using my Sharpie pen today. You can use whatever type of pen you want. You could also use markers if you wanted to use markers. It's up to you, however you want to do it, or you could just use pencil and do a pencil drawing. But what I want to do is break these lines up a little bit and to give it a little different style. I don't want my lines to be straight. I want them to be more rounded, a little wavy, and we'll see how that looks. Which is one of the reasons I love doing the artist trading cards, because they're a little bit quicker. They're not in a sketchbook where maybe they're going to stay there forever. Sometimes when you're doing your drawings in a sketchbook, especially if you're doing like regular full involved drawings and you're spending a lot of time on them, it tends to put a little bit of pressure on you that you feel like your drawings need to be perfect and you can't make any mistakes. And if you're doing a full-size drawing, it's going to take a lot longer, and you might not want to risk trying different things and seeing how it looks. But sometimes, I don't know about you, but I get kind of bored with drawing things the same all the time. So then I might want to try something different. And I feel like the artist trading cards give me a little bit more freedom for that, because they're smaller, so they're a little bit quicker. And they're either going to get traded, or they might go in a binder, or if they're really a disaster, maybe they just go straight into the trash and I scrap that one and start over. Who knows? It's an option. I don't know that I've ever thrown a drawing away necessarily. Probably I would abandon it more before I would just trash it. I think we all have drawings that we worked on and kind of got at a point where you feel a little bit stuck and you're not sure what to do with it, and maybe you're not quite ready to give up on it yet, but you just aren't feeling it anymore. So let me know in the comments if you've ever had a drawing that you've given up on and sort of abandoned, but you hang on to it because you think one day maybe you'll get some kind of inspiration, or maybe you think your drawing skills, your art skills are going to improve enough that you could do it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Let me know. I'm interested to hear what your experiences are with abandoning your artwork, or what do you do? Do you just wrinkle it up and throw it in the garbage, or Do you feel like it's something you might come back to someday? I'm just going to keep doing this outline. And I think what I'll do at this point is go ahead and speed this up a little bit. I'm just going to finish outlining the flames, and then I'm going to go ahead and maybe darken up, put a little bit bolder outline on some areas of the dice, and I'll be back when that's done.
But I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew.
Now I got everything outlined. I used a big block eraser to clean up the pencil lines, and now I am ready to add some color. And what I do for my colors, I have these little scrap papers that are left over from when I make my artist trading card blanks, and I just check out my colors on that paper, that little scrap paper, and then that way I know if the colors are going to go good together. So what I typically do is I have two different greens. This one's a little bit lighter than this one. I check them out on the paper to make sure they're going to blend together nicely and go together. And then what I like to do is I will fill in with the lightest color. I'll fill this all in solid. And then what I do is take the darker color and I'll add that over top. And as you can see, I got two different brands of markers that I'm using. They're both alcohol-based markers, but you can mix and match as long as they're alcohol markers. So what I'll do is I'll add a little bit of darker color, and then I can use this lighter one to go back over and smooth that out a little bit. Now you can also use a colorless blender. If you get sets of markers, they will typically come with the colorless blender. But I think it's easier to just use the markers that I already have in my hand. So that's typically what I'll end up doing. And then I'll do the same thing for the rest of them. And then what I'll do is work in one section at a time so that the marker is still wet and the alcohol hasn't evaporated, so that I can blend them colors together if that's the style that I'm going for, that look that I'm going for. Now you could also do darker colors. You could not blend them if you don't want the colors to be blended together. It all just depends on your style and the look that you're going for. And you can darken up some more areas. You could go even darker than what this one. You could use a third green and go a little bit darker. You could also just not blend this if you don't want it blended together. A lot of different ways you can work with your colors and blend your markers. So again, the artist trading cards are a really great way to experiment and play around with different styles of coloring and techniques that you might want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up again and get this all finished up, and I will be back with you when that is done.
But I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. look the other way. Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow, I think I'll chew it.
Alright, so everything is colored in. As you can see, I put a little bit of a purple accent around the edge of everything, around the outside. And then I think I want to put some little decorations in the corners. Just some little swirls in here. And of course, this is optional. I just wanted to add a little something extra. Just to kind of balance it out a little bit. And then the final thing I want to do is add a little bit of white highlights using a Jelly Roll pen. This works really nicely over top of the marker. So I want to add a few little highlights, some reflections off of the dice. I attempted to make the dice look like those the clear plastic, kind of glass looking dice. So I want to give them a bit of a reflection. And it breaks up the solid areas a little bit. So I'm not really looking at where shadows would be coming from or where a light source is. I'm just adding some white where I feel like it would look good. And again, you can add the white or leave it off. It doesn't really matter. And that's it for this drawing of the 3D dice. Hopefully you followed it to the end and enjoyed the video, and you feel inspired to do some of your own artwork. And I will see you next time. Happy creating! That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching it till the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. And also check out that description box. There's some links in there. Again, that freebie to the artist trading card guide is in there. And also you can subscribe if you want to get notified of future videos. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!